the one thing I'm going to be looking at that's really key is whatever cornerback they're bringing in, it's got to be someone who has slot experience, right? Or if they're going to be bringing in another safety, it's going
or get
have
two
to
guys.
be exactly. You have to fill two different spots. That's why I think like Charvarius Ward, I was looking him up, just doesn't have the slot experience that you would like him to have. I don't know if they go after him. To me, I heard Rob on your show the other day talking about that guy was going to be under $10 million, right? I think that guy might be Kyle Fuller, because obviously he has a lot of slot experience. He's someone who's a little on the older side. But when I think if you look at this cornerback class for free agency, there's not a lot of young guys who also have that slot experience that you would like them to have. I think the only guy who I really saw that I like, that I feel like could be a fit, is maybe PJ Williams, who's been playing for the Saints the past few years, has slot experience, but also has free safety experience. So that'll be interesting. But
real quick, this dude, hold on. Kyle Fuller is 30.
Yes.
He has 19 picks in his career. He had 7 in 28. He's an all-pro in his past. This past year, he gave up a passer rating of 119, but the year before was 89. So I think a lot of it had to do with maybe the team he was on, but also he's 30. So I'm a little nervous on that one. Yeah.
No, it's not great. It's not great. And I think that's the tough thing with this cornerback class is there's no young guys that they can really get at the slot. And you know what? I brought up this point exactly, maybe drafting a slot with Coach Noah Johnston about 2 weeks ago. Problem with that is, for the slot position, you need to have a lot of experience there. They're not just going to bring in a rookie and plug and play that guy to run fit and do all that stuff.
What I'm scared about is that Deommodore Lenoir is what they're thinking. It's like, look, we didn't play him right away. He's a second-year guy. You see what I'm saying? I'm afraid that the Niners are going to go dollar store general in the secondary and be like, Hufanga at strong safety, Deommodore at nickel, and we'll spend on one corner. We'll spend on one corner, but basically give the rest to the youngsters. I bet you. I bet you it's going to happen.
And that's what I'm the most worried about that right now, Grant, is like, I think what they're going to do is they're going to try and like go after some guys, right? And then they're just going to settle for the guys they already have in-house. Like instead of, bringing back Lakin, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a possibility. They're just going to plug Aaron Banks in that spot. Like you said, with Lenoir, they're going to probably let K1 walk and then just plug Lenoir into that spot. It's concerning.
I'd like to see Mosley get a chance in the slot, because I think he'd been there in the past when he was younger at times in I want to say training camp, and he's a really good tackler.
Yeah, he is.
That being said, he gets hurt a lot.
He does.
And there's going to be a lot of big collisions in the slot. Maybe that's why they don't do it. He gets hurt a lot, Mosley. All the more reason to bring in another corner.
Yeah, and I think for me, that's like the biggest thing with the corners right now. It's not that like they need to go get that one guys. They need to have solidified depth so that if they have a situation like what happened this past year where your corners all get hurt in the first couple of weeks of the year, you're not going and getting, your Josh Normans and your Drake Patricks of the world. So
that's a great point. They can't let that happen again.
No, they can't. No. And they should see that coming from a mile away. If they're just going to go into the season with Lenoir, Mosley, Ambry, and then some, Dante Johnson,
Jason Barrett. Oh, good luck.
Yeah. Well, Grant, I'm really happy if they bring back Dante Johnson as like their last corner on the roster.
Mr. Reliable.
Right? Yeah. Yes. You need that guy who can plug in multiple spots. But if he's going to be like your fourth or fifth corner, and then it's also Jason Barrett next to him, it's like, what are you relying on? So I'm really worried about that, man, right now. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. They should probably carry 6 corners too, just in case.
They probably should. And also, real quick, I wanted to talk about this Jimmy thing real quick, man, because I remember on the last call when I was with you, I told you I think they're going to cut him, and that's what it seems like everything is leading towards. And man,
I think he forced the issue on it. I think it's what he wants. I think it's what he wants really bad.
Don Yee is showing a masterclass right now in what to do when you have a damaged asset, especially at a really important position where a lot of teams might be interested if he's a free agent, right? So I think you kind of nailed it. From Jimmy's perspective, the only way they're going to trade him is to a team that he probably, 1, doesn't want to go to, and 2, isn't going to win that much. So if they do end up trading him, for 1, he doesn't get that $7.5 million injury guarantee, and then for 2, I think the biggest thing for Jimmy moving forward to extend his career and make the most money is if he goes to another team and makes the playoffs again, right? Or has another 10-win season, whatever else happens after that doesn't matter, because Jimmy proved he can quote unquote win in 2 spots. So he'll keep getting that next opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. And I think for him, the goal, obviously, it's to go to a place where he can, whatever. He's going to say, oh, I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to go far in the playoffs. for him, it's really going to be this audition for the rest of the league to prove he can be that winner outside of this 49ers system, because he hasn't proven that so far. So if he goes somewhere else and quote unquote proves that, has a 10-win season somewhere, man, it doesn't matter if they don't want him the next season after. His value is, he's making a lot of money. I mean, just to do that, make a lot of money.
And also to me, like this whole Saints thing, it seems like more that he wants to go to New Orleans.
Yes.
I maybe New Orleans is interested. I think they might be interested. I'm sure he is among the top 3 quarterback options for a lot of teams. Top 3. Right. The number 1 option for the Saints, I bet the Saints are his number 1 option. I bet he'd love to play with Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, right? Of course he would. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to trade for him. And maybe if he's a free agent and they have no other, maybe if he's a free agent, all else is the same, they would take him over Winston. Maybe.
I don't even think that. The way I see it, Grant, is they probably want to bring, right? What?
The locker room likes Winston over there. He's been there for a while.
Yeah, no, he's been there since the last 2 years, really, right? Yeah. He backed up Drew Brees for that half season, and then he just tore the ACL at the beginning of this year. So I think the thing with the Saints is you're right? New Orleans, they're a team that they might want Jimmy if they run out of all other options. The Steelers, another team, if everything else doesn't work, hey, Jimmy is a fine option, but they're not going into free agency thinking to themselves, this is the number 1 option. And that's why I think Jimmy and his agent are forcing this whole issue, him to get cut. And especially with the injury thing, I think the thing I heard you talk about, I think on SB Nation with Rob Guerrero actually, was how, it's the beginning of the combine, right? This is when all business is done at the NFL. On the first day of it, he has this shoulder injury that pretty much all but guarantees the $7.5 million injury guarantee in his deal, which then incentivizes it just puts the team in a bad position, and it incentivizes them to cut him, even though they're still losing money on it if they wouldn't have otherwise traded him. And now it's either going to be that they cut him or they trade him, like you said, for a conditional 6th-round pick to whichever team that Jimmy doesn't want to go to. So it seems like they're playing chicken with the 49ers right now. They're like, who's going to blink first? And if the 49ers blink first, then they win.
I think the Niners are going to blink first if they know what's good for him.